Imagine a man so rich, his generosity could crash an entire country's economy. A man whose wealth was so immense, it's literally described as indescribable. This isn't a character from a fantasy novel. This was a real person. This is the story of Mansa Musa, the legendary emperor of the Mali Empire, and quite possibly the richest human being who ever lived. Forget today's tech billionaires. Their fortunes are a drop in the ocean compared to the king who journeyed to Mecca draped in gold, leading a caravan of 60,000 men. But his story is more than just about wealth. It's a heartwarming story about hope and dreams that can inspire us all. How did one man accumulate such staggering riches, and what legacy did he leave behind? Join us as we journey back to the 14th century to uncover the truth behind the Golden King, Mansa Musa. Our story begins in the early 1300s, in the heart of West Africa. The Mali Empire was already a significant power, built on the foundations laid by the legendary Sundiata Keita. But under its 10th ruler, or Mansa, it would reach its golden age. That Mansa was Musa. He ascended to the throne around 1312, but not in the way you might expect. According to the Arab historian Al-Amari, Musa's predecessor, Abu Bakr II, was obsessed with the Atlantic Ocean. He believed it was possible to cross it and launched a massive expedition of 2,000 ships, leaving Musa as his regent. Abu Bakr never returned, and thus, Musa became the undisputed emperor. What Musa inherited was an empire vast in size, but its true treasure lay beneath the ground. The Mali Empire controlled some of the most lucrative trade routes in the world, connecting West Africa with the Mediterranean and the Middle East. But most importantly, it sat on top of some of the purest, most abundant gold deposits ever known. At a time when gold was in high demand across Europe and the Islamic world, Mali controlled more than half of the world's supply. Salt, another precious commodity at the time, often traded for its weight in gold, also flowed through his kingdom. This combination of strategic location and unparalleled natural resources made Mansa Musa not just a king, but the master of a global economic powerhouse. For years, Musa consolidated his power, expanded his territories, and governed his prosperous empire. But it was an act of religious devotion that would cement his name in history forever. In 1324, as a devout Muslim, Mansa Musa embarked on the Hajj, the sacred pilgrimage to Mecca. But this was no ordinary journey. It was a show of wealth and power like no other. Picture this, a caravan stretching as far as the eye could see. 60,000 men, including 12,000 attendants, all dressed in the finest silks. At the head of this procession rode Mansa Musa on horseback, preceded by 500 heralds, each carrying a staff of pure gold. Behind them followed a train of 100 camels, each one loaded with over 300 pounds of gold dust. As this glittering river of humanity and gold flowed across the Sahara Desert and into Egypt, it caused an immediate sensation. In Cairo, a major economic hub of the time, Musa's generosity was as boundless as his wealth. He gave away gold to everyone he met, from the Sultan of Egypt to the poorest people on the streets. He showered the markets with so much gold that its value plummeted. The local economy was thrown into chaos. For over a decade after his visit, the price of gold in Cairo remained depressed. He had single-handedly caused an inflation crisis in an entire country, simply by being generous. This act, more than any other, broadcast the unbelievable wealth of the Mali Empire to the entire known world. For the first time, Europeans and Arabs had a tangible sense of the riches hidden deep within West Africa. When Mansa Musa finally reached Mecca, his arrival was a momentous event. He performed the rituals of the Hajj with deep piety, but his journey had a purpose beyond just faith. It was a masterful act of international diplomacy. By displaying his wealth and devotion, he put Mali on the global map, not as some distant, mysterious land of gold, but as a powerful and sophisticated Islamic state. He met with scholars, leaders, and architects, forging new connections and absorbing the knowledge of the wider Muslim world. His pilgrimage wasn't just about showing off his gold. It was about bringing back intellectual and cultural treasures to his people. On his return journey, he continued his campaign of cultural acquisition. He recruited leading architects, poets, and scholars from across the Islamic world to come back with him to Mali. One of the most significant was an Andalusian architect named Abu Ishaq al-Sahili. who would revolutionize architecture in the region. Upon his return to his capital, Niamey, and the city of Timbuktu, Musa initiated an unprecedented building program. He commissioned the construction of magnificent mosques, libraries, universities, and palaces. Using the fired brick techniques introduced by al-Sahili, structures like the legendary Jingareber Mosque in Timbuktu were built. This mosque still stands today, a testament to Musa's vision. Under Mansa Musa, Timbuktu was transformed from a simple trading post into a world-renowned center of learning and culture. He founded the University of Sankore, which became one of the most important intellectual hubs of its time, attracting scholars and students from all over Africa and the Middle East. The libraries of Timbuktu housed hundreds of thousands of manuscripts on subjects ranging from astronomy and mathematics to law and medicine, rivaling the great libraries of Alexandria and Baghdad. The city became a beacon of knowledge, a place where commerce and scholarship thrived side by side. Mansa Musa understood that true, lasting power wasn't just built on gold, but on knowledge and culture. He had turned his material wealth into an intellectual and spiritual legacy. So, how much was Mansa Musa actually worth in today's terms? It's the question everyone asks, and the answer is, it's almost impossible to calculate. Some historians estimate his fortune at the equivalent of $400 billion, while others say that figure is far too low. The truth is, his wealth was so vast, so beyond the scope of anything we can comprehend today, that putting a number on it is pointless. He controlled the source of the world's most valuable commodity at the time. His riches weren't just in currency. They were in land, resources, and influence. He was, in the words of the historians who tried to describe him, simply the richest man anyone had ever seen. Mansa Musa ruled for about 25 years, and his reign marked the absolute zenith of the Mali Empire's power and prestige. After his death around 1337, the empire was passed down to his sons. However, internal conflicts and the rise of rival states slowly began to erode the foundations he had built. Within a couple of centuries, the great Mali Empire had fractured and declined. The Golden Age had passed, but the legacy of Mansa Musa endured. His story was passed down through generations, becoming a legendary tale of African power and prosperity. His pilgrimage was so famous that his image began to appear on European maps. The 1375 Catalan Atlas, one of the most important maps of the medieval period, depicts a crowned African king on his throne in the heart of West Africa, holding a golden nugget. That king is Mansa Musa. He had literally put his empire and himself on the map of the world. Mansa Musa's story is a powerful reminder of a time when African empires were at the center of global commerce and culture. It challenges the narratives that have often ignored or diminished the rich history of the continent. He was more than just a man with immense gold. He was a visionary leader, a nation builder, and a patron of knowledge who transformed his empire into a beacon of civilization. His journey across the desert was not just a display of wealth, but a bridge between worlds, connecting Africa to the wider global community in a way that resonates to this day. The Golden King of Mali may be long gone, but his legacy, written in the mosques of Timbuktu and the annals of history, remains as brilliant as ever. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the past. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's most incredible figures. Let us know in the comments who you'd like to see us cover next. Until then, stay curious.